Hey everybody, I'm Christina. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're gonna talk about books. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you. Today we're talking about love stories. There are some books that are very popular on BookTube, and those are Anna and the French Kiss series, To All the Boys I Loved Before, all the Colleen Hoover books, Fangirl, and so many others that you probably have heard of. So I'm not here to talk about the same books. I mean, I love all of those books, but if you're on BookTube, you've probably read all of them. I mean, those are the go-to books when you're looking for a romance, when you're looking for a love story. So there's so many other books. I'm gonna tell you some of my favorites and some others that I really enjoyed reading. So here they are. I've divided them in some categories because there are a lot of them. I'm just gonna put the star, or I'm gonna tell you the star that I gave them, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit of what they are about. If you like manga, I would highly recommend Lovely Complex and Maidsama, but my favorite is Lovely Complex. I've talked about these books before.
Lovely Complex is about this short boy and this tall girl that are bound to be together because all of their friends are in relationships and they're the only ones that are single, and they have to do everything together, and they hate each other at the beginning, but then she falls in love with him and she tells him over and over that she loves him, and he is super clueless and she has to make him fall in love with her. It's super cute. Maidsama is about Misaki Ajusawa, which is the president of the student council of Seika High School. And this high school used to be only boys. Now they have incorporated girls as well. And since she is the president of the student council, she has to prove everyone that she is capable as any man. But at the same time, she has a job at the maid cafe where she has to dress up like a maid, but it's very girly, and she has to serve men. And then the sexiest boy in school finds out that she works there, and she's mortified because she doesn't want anyone to see her as weak and girly.
Then I have a historical romance to recommend, and it's not only one, it's a series. They are like, I don't know how many books they are right now, at like 10, but it's the Mallory series. Whoa! It's the Mallory series. My favorites are the first 3, and I would highly recommend to read those, and if you want to keep reading, just go ahead, read all of them. I have read, I think like 7, but these are still my favorites. Love Only Once, this is the first one, and then it comes Tender Rebel, and then my personal favorite, Gentle Rogue. If you just want to read one of them, I would highly recommend to read Gentle Rogue. You don't actually need to read this too in order to understand this one, but if you want to read all of them, you would get spoiled for the other books if you just read this one. It's set in England in London 1818. And what I love the most about these books is it's that they are about pirates, and you know that I love pirates, so yes. The other historical romance that I have to recommend, and it's not really historical, but since it deals with a lot of history, I would say it's historical romance ish, but that is The Japanese Lover. This is the story about Alma Velasco and her entire life since she left Poland before World War II. She falls in love with this Japanese guy that ends up in one of the American Japanese concentration camps. It has a lot of historical points, so if you enjoy history, you would definitely enjoy this one as well. And it's very diverse because she's Polish, she's a Jew, and she falls in love with this Japanese guy, and the author is Latin. So there you go. There was a time that I was obsessed with Nicholas Sparks. Right now, I'm not, but there's one book that I remember reading it and laughing, loving it, having all the feels, crying, and that was The Last Song. Hear me just one second. The movie, not that good. The book, perfect. I'm all for romance, but I really enjoy when the story is not only about the romance, but also about the friendships. And if you enjoy love stories that have friendship storylines going on as well, you would totally love this. These are The Bridal Quartet by Nora Roberts. These are some of my favorite books ever. I love them so much. I don't know how many times I've reread them. These books are about these 4 friends, and they form a wedding planning company, and they have been best friends since they were little. Each book is the story of how each of them falls in love with their true love. I also have The Time of Our Lives by Jane Costello, and this book is about these friends, and they earned this amazing VIP trip to Barcelona, and a lot of stuff happens there. The main character has to deal with some crazy stuff that is happening while she is on vacations. Some crazy stuff that is happening at her office, and she keeps bumping into this guy in Barcelona. There's one trope that I absolutely love. The famous person that falls in love with the non-famous person. And for that one, I would recommend Billy and Me. That's about this girl that lives in a small town, and this famous guy comes to the town to film Pride and Prejudice, and she falls in love with him, and he falls in love with her, and at the beginning she doesn't know that he's famous. And a lot of things happen in her life. Also, I would recommend The Sexiest Man Alive. This is about a lawyer, a Hollywood lawyer that encounters this very, very famous actor, and he hires her company in order for him to practice to be a lawyer, because he's gonna play a lawyer in his next movie. And they hate each other at the beginning, and then their relationship starts to develop. I just finished this book called Cinder and Ella, and it's a retelling of Cinderella, but it's more like a Cinderella story or another Cinderella story in which the prince is not actually a prince, it's actually a famous person, a famous actor. I'm actually rereading it because I want to make a whole book talk about this book. I love this book. Shot Through the Heart. This is about a famous girl that falls in love with a paparazzi. That's not good. I don't remember a lot about this book. I mean, I read it like 4 years ago or 3 years ago, but I remember I enjoyed it, so here it is if you want to give it a shot. I had a good time with this book. And finally, here are some books that give you all the rom-com feelings. Like, rom-coms used to be something very, very popular back in the day. Not back in the day, but like 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Oh my god, I'm old. But since they're not that common anymore, I like reading some books that give me those feelings, and here are some of my recommendations. First of all, Losing It. I've talked about this book before, but it's basically about a girl that is tired of being a virgin, and she goes to a bar and she looks at this guy and says like, I'm gonna lose my virginity to him. And she doesn't do it, and then she figures out that he is her teacher at university. Also, The Proposition. This is about a man and a woman that work together. They can't stand each other. The man have been trying to hook up with this woman for a long time, and she's like, no, I'm not gonna hook up with him. But suddenly she wants to have a kid. She has been trying to have a kid for a while. She asked her gay friend if he could donate some sperm so she can have a kid, and this other guy, her co-worker, listens to this conversation, and he's like, I can donate my sperm if we do it the normal way, the natural way. And she's like, you know what, I want a kid, so let's just do it. Let's just do it. It's a little bit steamy, but it's super funny. And I have Something Blue and Something Borrowed. You probably watched the movie Something Blue, or no, Something Borrowed. I read the book, I liked it better than the movie, and then I read Something Borrowed.
Something Blue. I read Something Blue!
And Something Blue was way better, in my opinion, to Something Borrowed. But this is basically about this girl that falls in love with her best friend's fiance, but the thing is, she has always been in love with him because she met him first, but since she was very shy, they never went out together. And yeah. And finally, my final recommendation in this video is Big Rock, and this is about this guy that has to fake that he is engaged to someone, and he asks his best friend to fool these people with him, and they actually fall in love, because that's what happened in these love stories, of course. And that's it. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe, or subscribe depending on where you're watching this, and let me know in the comments if you can recommend any other romantic story to me, because I love romance. I love love stories. I know this video is a little bit rushed, is a little bit a mess, but I have to leave like right now, and I wanted to film this video because I wanted to upload it on Valentine's Day. So if you have any questions about any of the books that I've mentioned, please ask them in the comments down below, and I would gladly talk with you about any book. I'm Christina. I make videos every Tuesday. See you later. Bye!